With the year 2013 coming to a close, I'm the type of guy who always likes to reflect on the year gone by. And what a year it's been, eh? One of the most beloved political figure of our time passes away. North Korea declares their hatred towards America in a shocking revelation that exactly everyone already knew about. And for us geeks, we've officially now begun the next generation console war, where for the next 8 years we get to see gamers argue over which new expensive black box they can more effectively teabag their opponent in the next Call of Battlefield 9, while elsewhere, twerking and selfie become such popular words that they were added to the dictionary. Allegedly, hope and optimism were removed shortly afterwards. On the internet, Harlem Shake proved right after Gangnam Style that all you need to do to start an internet phenomenon is to effectively dance like a twat. And Yivis dropped a video that asked a question that apparently no one has ever asked before.
What does the fuck say?
A question so intriguing that when asked, it was met by the sound of about 6.5 billion people around the world not giving a shit. But what was the year like for anime? What did 2013 say for us otaku folk? Yes, today on the Anime Zone, I'm going to be looking back at the year 2013 to the anime and moments that stood out for me. No, I'm not going to be able to talk about everything, but I'll do my best to cover everything that mattered to me. So, with that intro out the way, let's get started. We start at the beginning of the year with the leftovers from the 2012 fall and winter seasons. Sword Art Online had just recently ended before the start of the year, leaving everybody exhausted from the spectacle of effectively watching a show cockslap itself during a horrendous second half, so it was kind of a black hole period where there wasn't much hype and nobody really knew what to watch or follow, even if there were some legitimately good shows coming out. Studio Arms surprised the anime world by making Mayu Mao Yusha, which apart from having a name I can only pronounce correctly every 1 in 100 times, was an actual interesting and intellectual show, which was a step above the blood and tits and elfin lead, and the tits and Ikitoshin, Queen's Blade and full-on hentai that they were previously famous for. A series that showed immense promise during this time was also Kotora-san, with one of the most emotionally gripping beginning 10 minutes I've ever seen. It tells the dark story of a young innocent mind reader descending into depression as she finds out her unique power pushes everyone to hate her. Little did we know that the first 10 minutes was actually one of the biggest piece of anime cock tease in recent years, and just becomes a generic romance slice of life show like everything else. That's right, the show peaks in the first 10 minutes, guys. Don't get fooled, don't whip your cock out, lads. This girl does not put out. In the leftovers during the fall season, Shinsekai Yori presented a dark and story-driven anime featuring humanity in a dystopian society reflecting and commenting on the issues of current events. Perhaps one of the most acclaimed series of 2013, which unfortunately went largely unnoticed because, oh my god, there's a gay scene in episode 8. Fucking drop! And only garnered attention after completion, promoted by a small but dedicated fan base. Blast of Tempest flipped the table on conventional moral messages by making trees the antagonist to the story. Yes, these bastard trees and the smug leaves and them fucking branches. Look at them. It sounds stupid, but it did provide us with a first full-on tree-on-tree fight scene, showing how dangerous trees can be when they try to take over the world. I'm watching you. And Psycho-Pass showcased Genrobuchi being Genrobuchi in a very Genrobuchi written show. A morally ambiguous cop show set in a dark dystopian future with a main protagonist who looks like she's permanently stoned. But the standout and surprise for me that stopped airing during this time was the grand, the extravagant, the outlandish JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. It never occurred to me why anyone would want to adapt an old forgotten shonen manga, but am I so glad that they did. Its over-the-top manliness, campness and ridiculous plotlines made for such an entertaining watch that constantly asked the question, bro, do you even pose? As stupid as it got at times, it was the most pure fun I had with the show in 2013, and I highly recommend it for anyone looking for a cool, dumb action series. As the spring season emerged, this felt like the real start of anime in 2013. There were no more leftovers from the year before, and this was all a fresh new start for anime that would set the standard for the rest of the year. And what a way to start it. If there's one anime that will be remembered for the year 2013, it's this one. Yes, this is the year that Attack on Titan took the anime community by storm, starting a worldwide sensation that became one of the most hyped anime ever created. There wasn't a single person in the fandom who hadn't at least heard of this show, and for good reason. The fanboys would get pumped up for the exhilarating action sequences, and the fangirls would gush over their Captain Levi, most likely for his proven housewife ability and that brooding look he always has in himself, like he's permanently trying to solve a Rubik's Cube using his mind. mind. It was a genuinely great show in many aspects, with an interesting setting and a plot that really did take you for a rollercoaster ride, but it did have its fair share of problems when it came to the character departments, and also with the Titans themselves. Since about halfway through the anime, the Titans went from these terrifying, creepy creatures to stupid looking humans going full retard. Of course, with hype, not everyone would love it, but suffice to say, it deserved its hype way more than some of the animes of previous years. Oh, and before I forget, a quick mention of the anime's first opening. That was it. Alongside Attack on Titan, we had the controversy that was Aku no Hana, aka the Flowers of Evil. Yes, this was an experimental attempt to create a psychological horror show using rotoscoped animation that looks like they took a human face, got a toddler to replicate it with Play-Doh, and then get someone with arthritis to trace over it. I kid, it didn't look that bad. It had an immersive plot with some legitimately interesting ideas that played to the uncanny valley effect, but it was its own worst enemy since the rotoscoping looked so hilariously bad at times that it made it impossible to take seriously. Highlights including this face, that face, duh. Is that a man or a woman? Why does this woman have a mustache? Casca running so stupidly that he apparently jumps through time. And my personal favorite, the unibrow of Nirvana. On the topic of Nirvana, Buddha, seen here dodging rubber bands in bullet time, decided to descend down from the heavens in springtime with Jesus to live in an apartment block together in the anime Saint Young Men. Yes, this was a thing. Be sure to stay tuned for season 2 where Vishnu stars in a Mario High School romance story with Allah. Suisei no Gargantia tried to prove that not everything written by Geno Ubichi has to be filtered with a sea of grey and depression, even if it inevitably did in the end, while in Valve Rave the Liberator, audiences were treated to a rape scene so unexpected that the anime actually had to tell the viewer that what was going on in this scene here was in fact sex. 10 times, just in case we couldn't guess. And then we have Orihimo. Orihimo, aka My Little Sister Can't Be This Cute. This anime was a light-hearted look at the otaku culture that somewhere along the line became waifu the anime, but it was still a fun show with some sincere, heart-warming moments that everyone could get behind. Until the ending happened. Yes, the ending that most definitely has to be talked about. So if you do not want to be spoiled, then I suggest you click this button right here to skip it. The ending finally answered the long-awaited question of who our protagonist would end up with, and the answer we got was the sister. Yes, the show actually went full incest on us, and of course viewers were torn apart with this development as they realized that the title did exactly as it said on the tin. The moment where the mass public would turn tail and run a fucking mile. The moment where supporters of Kuroneko and Ayase collectively committed mass suicide while the Kurina train jumped for joy as 2 seasons worth of wasting culminated in one moment they watched on endless repeat. Suffice to say, this ending was controversial as hell, but I can't say that I didn't enjoy the fan reaction over it. And I probably enjoyed this anime way more than I should have. Yes, I know, I don't know why either. Thank you, Orihimo, for providing me with such entertainment over the year and an ending worth talking about. Thank you for the controversy you've created and for trolling the entire fan base with your ending. Goodbye, SS Kuroneko. So long, Ayase Army. The Otaku fandom have spoken, and the final answer to the rest of the world is that incest is most definitely Wincest. See you in part 2.